How you doing? Right now is going to be an interesting test of my mic on the wind cover because there's a road right over there, so we'll see how the sound comes out. What I wanted to talk to you today, I'll just jump right into it. I kind of told off my boss through text message, so I want to read to you what I wrote him. I'm doing what I can. You tell me that I could sell digital services at $79. That's our special, right? And it's like, I could focus on that. But I'm only human. You tell me, he told me, he called me, he scolded me for like a half hour. He's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like he came prepared with some like list of things for me to do. And in my mind, I've studied a lot of things. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I just heard the quote the other day, the man who tries to catch 2 rabbits catches none. So it's like, you want me to do one thing, you want me to focus on one thing, I could do that. You want me to focus on 50 things, you're gonna get nothing. That's what's gonna happen. It's like, you just made me feel overwhelmed. You made me feel like quitting my job. Like, you didn't encourage me, and I'm telling him, like, you're not doing a good job at being a boss. I said it really, really sympathetically, though. I didn't, like, say like a jerk. What did I say to him? I know you're thinking I need to just try harder, but there's a point you put too much pressure on your employees and you make them feel like giving up. I apologize if that was too aggressive. If you will let me give you one piece of advice, I would say to learn to do your job without getting stressed out or find another job. I said all that to my boss by text message. I don't like to see anyone suffering. See, I try to be sympathetic. You can still call everyone and be like, hey, I need you to do this, but there's a point where you put too much pressure on it and you're more likely to get nothing in the end. I would draw on like my boss, like it's like, he doesn't know me, he doesn't know my life, he doesn't know what I do, he doesn't know how many years of wisdom and like learning and knowledge I drew on so that I could send these simple statements that I'm hoping that he'll take seriously, and he'll take it, he'll take the criticism, and he'll let him change his life. Why I made this video? Because his response, God, his response. It's too bad you feel like that. Times have changed. We need to take good criticism and learn from it and improve. Wow. Like, I'm not saying like wow, because it's like, he was right. I could be doing a better job of doing my job. I'll admit that. There's things I'm not doing. I like to be honest with everyone. I'm not saying that I'm doing the best job I could do on my job, but where's your level of filtering? Like, when are you not listening to people? A lot of people, they listen to people and as soon as the other person opens their mouth, or as soon as they read something, they're already thinking of their response. Most people don't know how to slow down. Wait for the other person to finish talking, pause for a moment, process what they said, and then actually respond to what he said. Clearly, he already had this filter going on in his head where he's just like, whatever this guy says, he's wrong, I'm right, here's my response that's gonna make me sound right and make him sound wrong. And it's just like, how dumb are you? God, I'm just gonna say this right now, Nelson. I'm sorry if you watch this video, you're probably not gonna watch it, but that was such an illogical response. I want to calm myself down. I don't want to sound angry in this video. I'd rather be more calm, more at peace, more centered, but God, whew, how dumb are you? See, this is a good follow-up to my last video where I talked about don't take your job seriously, and your bosses aren't as good as bosses that you may even like the worst like imagination you have of how bad of a boss he is. He might be worse than that. He might be a worse boss than that. Now, I'm not here to talk bad about him and to say you're a bad boss, to say you're a bad person. That's not what I'm here to do. But I'm here to ask the question to everyone watching this video: where's your level of filtering in the world? How much are you filtering what other people say? This sounds kind of weird and kind of strange, maybe a little woo-woo, but like a great like grand goal of like Buddhists and spiritual people, is really just to see reality for what it really is as much as physically possible, and to go on a journey through life to be able to witness reality for what it is without the filters that your mind puts on the world. We don't realize this, but a lot of times our minds are filtering everything. Like, you look at this tree and it's like, oh, it's brown. there's some green, is made out of wood. Like, these are just like thoughts that my mind is putting on top of this tree. Like, I can't just come to it. This is gonna sound weird, but just observe it for what it is, like feel its energy and experience it, and be just a witnessing presence to it. That sounded all like real kind of woo-woo. But we don't see when our minds do this. I'm not here to point fingers at anyone. I only understand it because I've done it myself. But the mind likes to filter everything. Like, when you see something, they say in a relationship, there's 6 images, minimum 6 images. You got the image of what you think of yourself on the inside. You got the image of how you project yourself on the outside to the world. You got the same thing for your partner, the image of what they think of themselves on the inside, the image of what they project in the world. But then there's also the image of what you expect her to be and the image of what she expects you to be. So at a minimum, you got 6 images, you got 6 filters going on. And at the end of the day, none of them is who you really are. None of them is not her or him. And the real you doesn't even know who you are anymore, because you're so lost in the world and trying to be something that's all you really know how to do, is to just try to be something. People don't even know how to be themselves anymore. And I'm not saying I'm the great expert in how to be yourself, but I'm here to teach you what I've learned. But I'll come back to this original point. I really want to ask the question, how much are you filtering what people are saying to you? Do you see when you're doing this? I'm not pointing fingers, because as I said, I do this myself, but I brought up the point of this message right now, and I read it to you, not just to throw shade at my boss and be like, God, you're dumb. Like, you just told me take criticism well, and it's like, I just gave you criticism. I don't know if I explained that in the beginning of the video, but I'm like, I gave you criticism. How do you respond to me giving you criticism by saying we need to learn to take criticism well? Like, you know what? You might be right. You might be completely 100 utterly % right. You gave me criticism and I kind of freaked out a little bit because you've been pushing my buttons too much, and I kind of snapped a little bit on you because you're just putting way too much pressure on all your employees, and I think somebody needs to put you in check. So I was like, I'm gonna put you in check. You wanna put me in check? I'm gonna put you in check. I'm not here to work for you, I'm here to work with you. But it's like, how much filtering, how strong of a filter do you need for somebody to give you criticism, straight up criticism, really sympathetic, really politically correct? I try to do it, I mean, I could have probably done it better, but I really try to be really sympathetic in that and try to be really nice. And it's like, he responds to it by saying we need to learn to take criticism well. It's like, all right, so why don't you do it? Like, did you not understand? I just gave you criticism in response to your criticism, and you respond. I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's like, I'm like flabbergasted. I'm baffled by this. But yeah, God, I don't even know what to say. God, you know what? I'm gonna read you guys. Whoever's still watching this, I'm gonna read you. I actually responded to that. I'm gonna read you what I responded to. Where I got a little more angry. It's like, I understand that, Nelson. You're telling me what I need to improve on. It's your job, and it's my job for me to sell as much as I can. I get it, but I just told you why your employees keep quitting. I'm not the only one who needs to learn to take criticism, but you won't listen to how I'm trying to help you because you see me as being under than you. Everyone in this world could be doing their job better. There's more effective ways to communicate with your employees. Yeah, I wrote this to my boss. If you won't listen to me, why don't you try to read a book on how to be a more effective communicator? You scared off your best employee, not me, someone else, and countless others. When are you going to point a finger at yourself? I don't know her name, but she was a team lead at Milford. If you're going to be honest with me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not here to work for you, I'm here to work with you. I don't know how hard your job is, how stressful it really is, but I do know this isn't a problem what you're having with me. This is a problem you're having with everyone. But I already know how your brain is wired. And you're going to read all that looking for what's wrong with me when I'm trying to help you help all your employees better. I feel like I got a lot out in this video. I don't want to overwhelm you guys and try to just force out different points. But try to summarize this video. I really brought all that up because I just wanted to ask the question. Like I said, I do this too, so I'm not pointing fingers, but I just want to ask the question, where are you filtering? Where's your brain throwing an image on top of something and you're not seeing it for what it really is? Are you filtering yourself? Is there a different version of you when you're alone, a different way you think of yourself than with you other people? When you look at other people, do you automatically put a label on them? Like, this is this person, this is what they're good for, this is what they do, this is who they are. Because when you're labeling a person like that, when you realize, because everybody labels, all right? I'm just gonna put that out there. That's what the brain does. The brain's a labeling machine. The brain is all logic, it's all facts. It likes to put a name and put facts on top of things so it can try to understand it. But your brain can't really know someone. It's like complicated. It's kind of like Eckhart Tolle stuff. But like as I described with the tree, as he describes, your brain can only know facts about that tree. The brain cannot honestly know it. Like your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend. Try to get all the 4 terms out there. Your brain can't love them. Your brain can't enjoy being with them. Your body can. Your body can experience these emotions, the joys of, you know what? I try to filter myself a little bit. See, there's me filtering. I do it too. I just filtered myself. Your body can enjoy them. Your emotions can experience them, but your brain can only put labels on top of it. It can even put labels and facts and judgments. That's all it's good for. That's all it's good for. Not saying that the brain is bad, but just saying we need to learn to understand how our bodies, how our minds are actually functioning. And I'm calling out gray areas. We all have gray areas. We all have places in us where we do things we don't know. Like a big gray area I discovered for me, I realized recently how much more afraid I am of talking to people and approaching customers and asking for the sale than I thought I was. Like at first it was just like, I rationalized in my mind. I was like, I don't want to waste my time and energy, they're just gonna say no. But the truth is, I was afraid of asking. I was afraid of making them uncomfortable. I was afraid of putting myself out there. I was afraid of me coming from a bad energy, from a bad place, and making people feel worse. You know, that was really the ultimate one. I was just afraid of making other people uncomfortable. But the truth is, I told myself in my mind, you'll tell yourself things in your mind and you'll really believe it. But once you make a rationalization, an excuse, you'll know it's just a dark path. It just leads you down the wrong way, because then you have to make another excuse so you can keep up with it. Another rationalization is like, okay, I don't want to bother them. And it's like, for me to keep up that front, so like the next time it comes up, I might have to make another excuse for why I don't want to engage that person. It's like, oh, you know, they're ladies, I don't want to make them uncomfortable, they're kind of old, you know, they seem like they're having fun, I don't want to bother them. Or like, what's another one I might do in my mind? Because I know there's a lot of old ladies, a lot of men, you know, someone, like if people look like they're really, really busy, especially when they look like they're having fun, it's like, I don't want to bring their mood down, or I don't want, I kind of said all my really rationalizations that I don't want to make them uncomfortable really was the biggest one. But I told myself in my mind that it was just because it was a waste of time and energy. But I realized that it wasn't the truth. So it's like, if you're watching this, Nelson, look, I just confessed everything too. So it's like, I'm not even just pointing fingers at you. Now I'm pointing the fingers at yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video because I don't want to just go on forever. And ask you, maybe when are you going to point a finger at yourself? To everyone out there, we all have blind spots. We all have things about us we don't see. And usually the best way to find out is when somebody calls you out for it. And when somebody says something that makes you really, really reactive, makes you instantly angry, instantly upset or down or depressed, a smart thing to do is to not respond right away. Maybe even write it down and look at it 2 or 3 days later when you don't have that reaction in you anymore, and then analyze why you did that. And then you're going to discover so many blind spots about yourself. And why this is good is because, as Elliot Hulse would say, it's going to help you become the strongest version of yourself. Have a nice day.